Good morning. It's finally arrived. I'm just going to quickly emboss this star. And then I've got some stitching to do. I'm hoping I'll get time to do it. We're going off to the car boot, but that's not till 12:30, so I should have enough time. So this is Stampendous Clear Embossing ink. I'm not very good with a VersaFine pad, you know. I don't know why I'm doing it on here, because I was going to put the powder on it anyway. Yeah, I'm not very good with the pad, so I find this much easier. I get much better results personally, and it's just a personal thing. So yeah, now because I'm a clever girl and I decanted all of my embossing powders into little tubs, I've got no idea what I'm going to be putting on here. It's iridescent colours, so I don't know. Grab another scrap of card, you'll do. Yeah, because I don't do much embossing, I'll be honest with you, and I don't know why, because I love embossing. I just don't do it. Simple, really, no more excuses. I can always put another coat on. I haven't used, actually, I'm supposed I ought to plug it in and make sure it works. That could be a challenge, couldn't it? I'm such a professional at this stuff. Might be enough. Right, we'll just shove that there. I've got a glass mat here, so as I say, I've never used this thing, so it's nice and quiet. The other one used to absolutely blast my ears. Ooh, it gets hot quick. Ooh, of course it's new and it stinks. Gosh, truth. Should let it warm up first, but that's fine. It's doing it. It's doing the job. And I think one coat is going to be enough. And that looks like a very opaque white, so I'm happy with that. Oh, you absolutely reek. Did I get it all? That's the question. Yeah, cool. That's melted that really nicely, actually. I'm very impressed, Ranger. Well done. I gassed myself out with the fumes from it, but apart from that, all good. Yeah, right. There we are. It's finally done. I can finally stick it on that journal, and I can finally get them on Ko-fi for sale. If anybody wants them after all this blooming time. Right, come here. You need to strategically be placed there. I'll put you there, actually. Yeah, cool. I'm going to have to run that a bit and get the smell out. It's got like a weird coil thing. Should be alright. Right, let's put you somewhere to cool down. Where can I put you? Let's put you on the windowsill. Right. Yes, that's good. I've been wanting one of those for ages, but my other ones sufficed. And because I don't do this very much, I thought, you know, can you justify the expense? But then I sort of determined that I'm going to start using some of the things that I don't use very often, because they're just sat here, you know, doing absolutely nothing. So yeah. So yeah, as I say, planned some stitching today. My daughter's already rung. Do you want to come out for a walk with the dogs? No, I really don't, thank you. I was dog sitting till about 12:30 last night, and I came home and the temperature in the UK, I don't know if it's everywhere, but here, it's absolutely dropped phenomenally. And yeah, when I got in, I got really cold, And you know, for a menopausal woman, that's a miracle. But there you go. Yeah, and I got really, really cold last night, and oh yeah, because when he texts me about, you know, can you dog sit? I said yeah, yeah, and he said 10 till 12. I said, oh, okay, just 2 hours. Yeah, lovely. So I'd arranged with my daughter, my middle one, to go out, and after I'd finished babysitting and all of our dog sitting, and when I went around there, he was like, yeah, well, here's his food. He has his dinner about 6. And I had a very quizzical brow on. And I was like, oh, is it 12 midnight? He went, yeah, 14 hours. Oh, jeez. So, yeah, anyway, it costs him. That's fine. So I just chucked the dog in the car. We went and met my daughter. We went for a 2-hour hike with the two, because she's got a 9-month-old bully breed type dog. Is she's not one of the dangerous ones. So we went for this 2-hour walk, and I didn't dare let him off because, as I say, you know, he's not my dog, and he's a bit of a screwball. You know, he's a typical cockapoo. He's got more energy than he has brain. So anyway, we went for this walk and got back to hers, and then her partner came home. He'd been up to Wales to visit his kids. And we went for lunch, met my eldest daughter there as well. Oh, and Eleanor came with us because she didn't want to go with her mum. So there we are. Look, nice big sparkly snowflake. It's nice and holographic. That looks really good. Kind of wish I'd put some on there now, but too late. So, finally done. Yeah, so anyway, we walked all the dogs, did all that, and had a nice lunch. Got back to his house about 3 o'clock. The dog absolutely died, so it was great, happy days. And yeah, and I was there till hours. Anyway, right, so they're ready. I've done this little diddy one. Now, there's absolutely no decoration in this. I'm not gonna big this up at all. It won't be expensive, but yeah, it's got all sorts of. It's a nice little, I don't know, I guess you could use it as like a Christmas gift notebook type thing. And, you know, it's got all sorts of little gel prints and printed papers and that kind of thing. Yeah, I just sort of feel that's the one that I made out of the giant tag. I don't know if you remember. It's ages ago, isn't it? But anyway, that's done as well. So I'll put all 3 out there, and then now this one has turned out really heavy, so I think it's going to be outside of a large letter, so which is a real pain for anybody outside of the UK, because it's going to have to go as a small parcel. I don't even think if I put it in shrink plastic stuff, I don't even think that'll go through. Oh, I don't know. I'll test it later, and whatever postage is on Ko-fi is the postage. We've had a massive rise in our postage here in the UK. It's absolutely destroying business because, you know, even a second-class large letter, which is something outside of 5mm thick, has gone up to £1.55. It used to be £1.05p. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. So right, so those 3 are done. I'm going to pause you now, get you over by the sewing machine, and we'll do some sewing. All right, I'll see you over there. Right, the first and most laborious part is the ironing, and ironing on the interfacing. I just need to iron the lining of this one. This one ended up a bit small. I can't remember why. I had a lot of white edges, I think, so I chopped them off, basically. So, you know, like you do. So I'm just going to quickly iron that one flat. I'm hoping you're not going to jiggle. You're on the little monkey grip stand thingy. So, just get the worst of the creases out of there. Now, some of them are still... I cut them on the fold, but I'm going to cut them in half because I find it easier to stitch them when they're all separate pieces. You can do it when they're all whole, but I just find it easier to do them when they're in like 4 pieces, if you like. that. You do you. And the same, now this is the gel printed piece, and what I've learnt over the years is to protect my wool mat, because I've got stains on here from where I've just literally pressed it, you know, from the back straight onto there, and it has, not always, but a little bit of transfer happens sometimes. So I'm sorry about the crinkle factor, you're going to get it. I just need to slowly go over these just to set the paints into the fabric. To be honest, it's so dry now. I mean, I did these weeks ago, didn't I? That it's unlikely that they're going to wash out or anything anyway. I know we had this discussion, didn't we, Martha? You said about, you know, the acrylic paints. What do you... I can't remember what the conversation was now, but anyway, basically I said, well, you know, to be honest, have you ever tried to wash acrylic paint out of clothing? Yeah, it rarely happens, and that's without any fabric mediums or anything like that. So I've got to be honest, I tend not to worry. It's fine. So this is my interfacing. I like to interface them. They're a bit floppy if you don't. So it is a personal preference thing. You don't have to interface them, but I like to, just to make them a little bit pucker, a little bit nice. So I'll just do this one with you, and then I don't know, I might fast forward, or I might just pause it and show you the end results. I've got a couple of things sitting around me. I found this lovely fabric with words on it, so I've cut a load out, and I've put heat and bond on the back, the heat and bond light. So if I sort of find a patch on the fabric, well, where they will look nice, I will heat and bond those on there. And some of the other ones, I'll show you in a second. Let me just get this on. Some of the other ones I have made up, I don't know what you'd call it, like a little snippet. I've not stitched them by hand or anything at the moment. Well, I don't think I'm going to. I'm just going to put them straight on. Yeah, let me show you, because then it's easier for you to see what I'm on about, as opposed to waffling on in your ears. Right, okay. Absolutely nothing came off that, so that's good. So I just need to cut this one in half. I just find it easier to do it this way. As I say, you can do it by leaving them whole, but I want to sort of mass make these, and you know, the brain switches off sometimes. Oh, sucks getting old. Don't get old, okay? So what I do is I get them all prepped, get them all together. So this is a piece that I took off of it that's going to be a handle, and then I match up a zip. So this one's going to have a lemon yellow zip. Let's have a quick look. I quite like all of it. I don't know if there's anything in here that I can put on. It's got words like celebrate your own special spirit, mythical, have a happy heart, hope, dream, share the love, kindred spirits, all that kind of stuff, all that kind of wording. So I might put that on actually. It says peace, love, passion, create. So let's see if we can find a spot for that to go on. Might be quite nice there actually. It's got the right colours. It's got the orange. Don't even know if you're seeing it properly. I think you are. It's got the orange. It's got a bit of the green. This hasn't got any red on it. See, that side's really patterned, so I don't want to put anything on there. So I think that will be quite a nice little accent on there. So I'm going to put that on. I have decided. But again, I'm going to protect my iron. And then what I'll do is I was going to say I'll stitch it, but you don't need to. This heat and bond stuff is such an amazing product. It really is. It more or less melds that into the fabric. So you're not even going to get any peel. Because when I put the heat and bond on, I put it over the whole fabric. And then I cut out the pieces. So that is completely bonded. You can hardly feel it, I'll be honest with you. So yeah, I'm going to give it one more just for luck. You can stitch them like I say, so it's up to you. Right, so I pile them all up. That's the lining, that's the outer, that's the zip, and then with the what's going to be little grab handle. Again, let's just protect the old, just heat set that. And then do the usual, it's a bit warm. Fold it in half while it's hot. And then, yeah, I've had these cut. I've cut them all. I cut them all Friday, I think it was. And matched up the zips and stuff like that. So, yeah, they've just been sat here taunting me. And I'm like, right, I needed to get those journals done and out of the way, really. So, I concentrated on getting those done. Mackerel, be quiet. Oh, she's doing that caterwauling again. She got the right on with me yesterday because I was out for so long. Luckily, I was able to come back and chuck another load of food in her bowl because I just wasn't planning to be out for 14 hours yesterday. So yeah, so little handle now. So I'll just pile them all up like so. I'll get the name tags out of the, I've got them in the drawer there. And I'll put a name tag with it, and then hopefully, let me grab one, I can show you. Then hopefully I'll remember to put them in. I'm the world's worst at it. I had these printed, oh gosh, years ago. So yeah, it's just a little branding strip. I usually sew them into the side of the actual pouch. So, right, so that one's good to go. So I then make a pile next to my sewing machine. And yeah, away we go, really. I'll just show you the other ones. I've also hoofed these out. I bought these from Etsy from India, and they are little, is that camphor stitch? Anyway, that's stitched. They're stitched already, basically. So I might, if I've got a really sort of patch where I just think, that's looking a bit rough, I might put one of these on as a decoration. So yeah, that was, it was a place recommended by Kate at the last Homely House. So let me just find one that's got an addition. There's one. Yeah, so I put together these little pieces here. And what I'll do is I'll quilt them and then stitch them on here. I think it was that I didn't like that bit. Could put it over there actually. Doesn't really matter where it goes, but I just like to put these little inclusions on. So anyway, I'm going to get on and do that. Get them all backed with the stabilizer stuff. All ironed, all ready and prepped. And then we'll start doing some stitching. See you in a couple of hours. Right. Good morning, we're back again. I've just remembered I need to change my needle in my machine because it was clonking because I've been sewing paper with it. So I'll just quickly do that. Oh, no, needle, Susan, not the foot. So I prepped all the, it's the next day basically because we did end up going to the car boot. So yeah, so that was like, you know, the rest of the day had gone basically. So yep, so it's the Monday morning. I've just done the Mercy run for my daughter. Got a phone call from my granddaughter Scarlett. Danny, the bus has missed. We've missed the bus. I'm like, oh, Goldie, we go. So yeah, just pick them up, run them into town. Had to let Caroline down. I usually go for a walk with her on a Monday morning, but there you go. Anyway, so yes, they're all prepped. They're all here next to me. I don't know if you can see them. They've all got their bits and bobs, and I've done the wadding and stuff like that. So they're in piles of what need to be done basically. So I've got the zip, I've got my label, that's going to be the handle, and then I've got the linings and the outer casing. And on this one, it's just got that wording, as I say, that honestly, that heat and bond, you can't even feel the edge. I might go around it with a bit of stitching, but let's find out. So first of all, I'm going to stitch the I'm just going to do one with you because it'll drive you nuts otherwise. So I'm just going to stitch the handle. I like to do a slightly bigger stitch, so noisy machine, I'm afraid. Excuse me, and tidy. Where's my bin? Where's my bin? Oh, it's behind me. Right. And the other thing I've forgotten to do is do the box corners. I'm just going to do really small box corners. But first of all, before I forget, I'm going to put my label on. I always end up forgetting it otherwise. So I shall just... Honestly, it's been a mad morning already. Oh, do you ever feel like just giving up and going back to bed? That's today. I'll just do a quick baste on that. Out of the way of the zip, but not too far in, because I don't have an awful lot of room on the end of those labels. I don't know if you can see. So by the time I take my seam allowance, I have to be careful that I don't catch the label incorrectly. So so that'll be the top, that'll be the top. Yeah, let me just quickly do the box bottoms. I'll lay the lining on there as well. I forgot that bit. Because these are going to be, I say pencil cases, but I mean obviously they're just going to be, sorry, I got a really weird throat this morning. They're just going to be zip cases basically, so you can use them for whatever you like, I'll be honest with you. So I'm just going to mark out, I think 1 inch will be enough because they're oh, this pen, honestly, I've moaned about it before. They're just going to be small boxed bottoms, so just like that you've got the box bottoms and it's done all of the layers. I had to swap over to my big shears because they are super sharp and they've done it in seconds, so that was all good. So I think I've told you before, I like to make my pouches in the wide open fashion so that they open all the way. I don't know if that's going to make any sense at all. But yeah, so just remember I need to, that's going to be the front. No, it doesn't really matter where it goes in the side seams. This is the handle. Again, I'm just going to baste it on so I don't forget it more than anything, because sometimes you get in the groove and it's, you know, you forget. I need to make sure it's just below the zip. That should be, yeah, that'll be about right. We'll see. If it doesn't work, we can always change it. Right, okay, so that's the label and the handle on now, so that's all good. So I always buy my zips extra long. Actually no, thinking about it, these are the ones, right, sorry. With those lacy edge zips, I like to stitch them on. How do I like to stitch them on? Kind of after, more or less after it's all put together, because then you get the proper effect. I don't know if that's the right word, but yeah, I like to put the lacy bits on the outside. I will show you. So I will steam through this bit and then just make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah, I am. So that's the outer bit. Now this is different, okay? This is not like I'm putting the zip on first, because I say with these lacy ones you put them kind of on the outside. So don't panic if you think, crikey, she hasn't put the zip on. No, you're right, I haven't, because it goes on last, basically. So yeah, don't panic. So just line up these box bottoms. Again, I'll speed through this bit because it takes a while. I'm not impressed. So giant cocktails, cocktail, what are they called? Oh, I don't know, can't think. Brain's not working today so far. Oh, love it. I love it when my ends line up perfect. Good, happy days. Did we get the other one? Ooh, just a millimetre out. Anybody notices that? Well done. Right. Yep, the lining worked. Good. Yep, perfect on the lining. Well done, Susan. Okay, I'm just going to stitch the bottom. And then we'll put the zip on, and I will stop boring you to tears. And I might just do one more with a normal zip. God, excuse me. And then I'll just sort of show you the finished articles at the end, if you like. Fiddly dee, come on. This is the smaller one, this one. It didn't, I think I cut a load of white off the edge, and I shouldn't have done. I should have left it, because that could have disappeared into the seam allowance, but I've done it, so too late. So the other ones will be a lot longer than this one. It's just slightly smaller. You get the idea. Okay, pretty cool. So let's put this zip on. Just need to make this edge do as it's told. I don't want to top stitch it, not yet, because it'll get top stitched when I put the zip on, basically. So, but I don't want the lining overhanging, so we'll just make that behave itself for a second. These little things are great. These little, I don't know what they're called, seam pressers, I suppose. I don't know. I think it was a Temu jobby. I've stopped buying off that website now. Apparently there's so much controversy over it. So it was the app, I think. I never did download the app, because my phone is just doesn't, every time I download an app it has a fit when I'm trying to load up videos. So I just stick to my well-known apps, and that's that really. So right, so I'm just going to take a minute to put this on. So what I need to do now is literally stitch this onto the outside, and then open the zip up and stitch it to the outside of that one. I will show you. It is fiddly, but I love the finished result. So if we're holding the bag, yeah, we need the zip to come that way, and I leave them long, and then I tend to finish the edges off, if that makes any sense. I need pins for this. Yeah, I finish the ends off, so I can just see, I don't know if you can see, I can just see through the zip here to the top of my bag. So I need to pin along that line and just hold that zip there, making sure they are a faff, but they're pretty. I want it right. I want to see the two little top flower bits, if you like, because then I know that it's going to clear the lining. You can top stitch the lining first if you want to, but the trouble is when you stitch the zip on, if you don't get those two lined up almost perfectly, you've got all these lines of stitching on the inside, if that sounds sensible. I don't know, it might not. So I need to hoof off my table. It just makes life a lot easier. There goes the stand. I see all the dust under my table. Oh, yay. Right, so I'm going to put my presser foot on. I think my zip. Where are you? There you are. I don't know if I've got enough bobbin thread actually. It should be enough to just put the zip on. So as I'm going, I just make sure, actually I've got it on the wrong side, I just make sure that I can see through the top little flowers, the top part of the little flowers. Would you just behave? Thank you. Yeah, so that I know that I'm going to be missing the, what am I trying to say? I'm going to be missing the lining so that it doesn't catch on the zip. I will get my brain in gear in a minute, don't worry. Gordon Bennett. You're such a professional, Susan. You do this in your sleep. It's because the camera's on. Right. Yeah, I needed that one so that my foot, you can't even see. Let me get you over here a bit. Hold tight. Right, so I need the edge of my foot. Edge of my foot to run along the zip, the teeth of the zip, but it's too far that way, so that should be about perfect. I've got a really thick bit there because that's the seam, so I'm just going to hand crank it just for a second. I'm going to slow the speed down. Let's go. Yeah, as I say, they are a bit of a faff, these ones, but they're so pretty when they're done. I tend to just let them have their faffiness. Deal with it. I'm going particularly straight. Hopefully the thread will match perfectly the lining, so you can't see too much. Just put the needle down while I turn that round. Stop just short of the seam because that really makes them open up wide then, which is all good. Well, that's not too bad inside. Well done, Susan. So we just pull those threads through. I did back stitch so I can cut them close. Right, so for the next side, I just need to actually let's just sit that again. Are you seeing anything? Yeah, good. I just need to find the side seam. Just want to get this first bit pinned, and then I can open the zip and know that it's going to line up. I'll say they are a pain, these ones, but they're pretty, so I'm going to let them off. You can, on this side, you can use the clips. I'm just checking, I can see through the little flowery things. I'm checking that the lining is still down inside. Right, can everybody sort themselves out, please? Aren't you there? Right. Okay. I don't want to come right up close there. Again, it just enables it to open wide. Just hoping I'm not going to run out of bobbin thread. Let me pause you because I think I am. Back in a tick. Good job I checked. I'm on a mission to clear a lot of my bobbins out. So I'm getting all the ones with like scrappy bits on and I'm clearing them out. But it doesn't pay off sometimes when you're in the middle of a creative session and you suddenly realise actually, so I've filled the bobbin up now. So I can just crack on and get this lot sewn on the Kofi. Just need to adjust that very slightly. Right, off again. Oh, yeah, I put it on super fast, didn't I? For the bobbin. Slow down a bit. I really wish the foot for this machine would work, but it just refuses to. So I've always had to use the stop-start button. I would love to get one that cuts itself as well, but it's just, I just can't justify the cost. My daughter and I yesterday were talking about she wants to get the Cricut, the big make it machine, and I said yeah, I'd love one as well. I said but the trouble is, unless you are a sticker maker and all that kind of stuff, you know, are you going to get the use out of it? I don't know, because all I see on YouTube and that is people making stickers and that with them. I don't see anybody doing fabric crafts with them, so I don't know if I would get the use out of one. Because I'm not a sticker maker, so I don't know. She'll probably get one. I can use hers. I don't think she will actually. It is terribly expensive. It's not only the sticker, the actual machine. It's then you've got to have the laptop, and then you've got to have Procreate to do your designing. Anyway, right, let me move you back here. But hold tight. Okay, so it's all done. So yes, the idea of the wide open is that, you know, your zips are not impeding the inside width, if you like, so you can literally make it open as wide as it can go. So obviously you have these ends which you need to deal with, because yeah, look a bit yeah. So I haven't actually got anything prepped for this, but what I tend to do is cut the end off and then do kind of like a scrappy square, and the same with this end. I cut the metal bits off. Shall I get something prepped and show you? Yeah, I will. Right, sorry, I'm going to pause you again. Back in a tick. Right. I found this bias tape. Louine, if you're watching, do you remember? Bought that in Exmouth. I know. So I've cut, I don't know, I just kind of eyeballed a measurement. It's probably about 2 inches, 2.5 inches. Yeah. Right, so what I tend to do is chop the metal bits off so that you've got no worries about hitting that with your sewing machine. And I should do the same with this end as well. Actually, let's do this end first and then, you know, stress. So what I'm going to do is sew it sort of backwards. Sew it that way. It's, I say it's bias tape. Sew it here, flip it over, turn a little seam there, sew that up. Yeah, let me show you. Right, let me move you back here again. Sorry, you're moving around my table, aren't you? But that way you should be able to see what I'm up to. So I think this will work. I've never done it before, so I've no idea. Right, stay. Do as you're told. Of course, it doesn't want to feed through. I'm just going to turn it like that. Actually, yeah, if I... So, yeah, so I've stitched it there. So I'm going to sort of fold it back. Just turn a very small hem on that raw side. Give it a good press with my fingers. And bring that up to meet there. There's probably a much easier way of doing this. I'm doing this a bit on the hoof. What I tend to do is use a scrappy piece and let it all fray. So sort of, you know, don't worry about it sort of thing. So, but let's do it properly. I'll tidy that up when I stitch the sides. Just put you on there for a minute. Kind of lines up. It's never usually this fiddly. As I say, what I tend to do is just use a piece that's already fraying and just stitch it on. You can buy proper leather tabs, as it were, so I haven't got any at the minute. This is probably going to be in your face. Yeah, sorry, right, bear with me. Actually worked out all right. So yeah, you end up with a little tab thing on the end. Cut those threads out of the way. Just tidy up that fabric there. I do the same the other end. Am I boring you to death yet? I expect I am. But first of all, I'm just going to run a stitch across there so I'm not fighting with that. It's easier on the closed end. Cut those metal bits off so they're not in my way. Let's see if we can do this in a more sensible way. Just fold a little seam there. And a little one there. Yeah, it's a faff, but it's a nice finish on the end. I need to put my table back on it. That's why it's flopping down. Right, let me make some space. As usual. Sorry, guys. Oh, look at that. Amazing. Right, sorry, it's going in your face again. Stay there. I'll be out of your way in a minute. that's it, we're done. Yeah, it only looks a faff with these ones because you know, the zip goes on the outside. Normally I can whip through these really, really quickly, but it's also awkward when you're trying to film it all. So. But there we are. So it's all done. You're not even seeing this. Let me move you back round here again. Yeah, there we are. So little tabby things on the ends. And then obviously you've got a really nice wide open bag, so if you put all your pens and your stuff in there, you can get right in and see it. And then we've got a little grab handle, we've got our product tab, yeah, and then it's got the wordage. So take that, I'll be looking for that all over the place. And there we are. I generally give them a quick press, final press, and then they're all done. So cool. Right, yeah, I'll get on and, oh, do I need to show you the other ones? Just a normal zip. I don't know. I probably will. Yeah, let me do. Let's do another one. Let me get prepped and I'll be back with you. Right, okay. I've done the box bottoms. I've gone slightly larger this time. I've done 1.25 inches, and I will tell you why in a minute. I've put the handle on. I put my tag on. Yeah, so as I say, these type are different again to the one we've just done, basically. So I've got an enormous zip. I'm not going to cut it yet. I will wait until the last bit. I can always chop it off. You've got your zipper tab there, so you put that face down onto your outside fabric. Now I'm going to, because I've got such an enormous zip, I'm just going to put the end right past the end, if you like. As I say, we can adjust that. This is my lining, so you put the lining face down on top of the zip, and then you make sure you line up your edges. You need your zipper tape at the top, and you clip, which I've conveniently moved out of the way, and you just clip along. I tend not to bother actually when I'm doing it, just me. I just zip along basically and just hold it all together. But to show you, I will do this properly. I've just changed my thread colour to a red because I usually stitch with sort of like a grey creamy colour, but it will really show on this basically. So I'm just going to switch my machine off and on again, because it sets everything back to default, because on that other zip I'd moved the needle over and I can never remember what the proper setting is. You can stitch with just your normal foot, but let's put on a zipper foot just for giggles. So just put that in there. Now when you're stitching for a wide open, you start about 1 inch in ish, as long as you get the same measurement. Let's do it properly, Susan. So I'm going to mark about 1 inch in, and this will allow the zip to fall outside of, I don't know how to explain it. It'll give you, the zip will fall outside. Let me show you. It's probably easier if I show you. I'm not making much sense, am I? So I'm just going to start stitching on that black line that I made. Yeah, I'm going to whiz through quite a lot of this because it's quite sort of simple really, but yeah, let me just stitch this and I'll be back with you. 1 inch, let me mark it. That's a friction pen, by the way, if you're wondering what that is. It just disappears with heat. although you're not going to see this anyway. Didn't quite get the end there. It's on there now. Yeah, so you just stop that inch from the end, and this is what it allows it to open wide. You'll see in a second. I'll just do the other side exactly the same. So you just fold it open. I'll do the top stitching when they're both stitched, and that's why I changed to a red thread, because I knew that the beige would show up. So for this side, doesn't help when your handle's misbehaving. Stay there. You just do the same again. So, but this time, you need them facing each other, if that makes sense. You need the outer bits to yeah, facing each other. I don't know how to describe it otherwise. So yeah, there. I'll just clip that. Make sure your sides are lined up. Your sides. Half of this is going to be cut, you know that, don't you? Because I'm waffling on. And then you do the same the other side. You've probably seen loads of people do this. Again, right sides together. Okay, so that's a, yeah. And then you lay it up the top here. Again, matching up these sides. Right, and you stitch again. Again, you need that inch. There. And the other end as well. You can leave it 3/4 of an inch. It doesn't have to be an inch. It can just be half an inch if you want. It's just so that it can open wide there. Yeah, it'll make sense when I show you in a second. Where's my mark? There it is. So again, stitch. Right, I'm going to do that again. It's the zipper's moved. Don't quite know why, but it did. So I generally just lay this down and I'll be back in a sec. I need to quick unpick. Right, try that again, shall we? The zipper tape had moved. That's why I undid it, because it was going wonky. I was trying to slide again. Okay, let's try that again. Keep on moving. The lining's quite slippery, and I think that's kind of what's causing a lot of this problem. It's nice, it's pretty, but it's a bit slippery. Again, stop an inch from the end. doesn't have to be exactly an inch. I've gone about 2 millimeters over. That really isn't going to matter. Right, okay, so our zip is in, as you can see there. So I need to top stitch this now, as I shan't be able to top stitch it afterwards. Now you can take it to the iron and do it properly. I'm a bit of a finger presser. This has got wonky. I hope it doesn't look that bad on the outside. It's the threads from where I unpicked it. So I'm just going to top stitch now. Again, when I top stitch, I'm not going to go right to the end. All right, we do that last. It will make sense. So again, if it makes you comfortable, get your friction pen and just make a mark, so you don't go beyond that what stitching you've got underneath, if that makes any sense, because you don't want to top stitch where it's not stitched to the zip. As I say, this is not even, but it doesn't matter because it all gets sorted out in the end. Right, I can probably do this with my normal foot now. They're getting stressed. I shall stop you in a moment, and then I'll just show you the finished articles. Right, so you just stitch it all together. The most important thing is to get your zip open, otherwise you will not be able to turn it around. Okay, so front to front, lining to lining. If it wants to come apart, you're going to behave. Thank you. I'll whiz through this bit because it's just stitching it together, stitching the box bottoms, and then I'll show you the final finishing for that final bit of top stitching, which is a faff. I don't know how much you're going to see, and when you do your stitch, your zip, make sure it goes inside your bag. Okay, and when you stitch, normally with a pouch you zip all the way, you stitch all the way round, but with this one, where you've got this inch gap that we left, you just stitch those. Okay, you don't carry on onto the lining. All right, and that's quite important. You need to stop there. Okay, I say they are a bit of a pain, but you just, to me, you get a much nicer looking zip. All right, so the same the other side. Get the handle inside, go in. All right, pull your zip to out of the way. And you're going to, I can find it. Oh, come on, you fiddler. What are you doing? You have to fight with it. It doesn't matter if the zip goes inside or outside. Just get it out of the way of the stitching, because you don't want to stitch your zip. Alright, so you stitch your main fabric all together, do your box corners as normal. You stitch your lining fabric together. I'm going to shove those in there, out of the blooming way. Get out of the way. So you do exactly the same with these. You leave your gap as normal at the bottom, alright, for your turning through. I know, they're a bit of a faff, but once you get it in your head what you're doing, you do actually whiz through them quite quickly. I'll just quickly, make sure when you're stitching that you do not sew your zip. How many times have I done that? I think I did it once, and I told myself if you ever do that again, you need a good telling off, quite frankly. So I'm just going to do the outside first, because then I sort of go back and do the but yeah, it is awkward. You do have to fight with it, but anyway, I shall come back and show you what it looks like. Right, okay, all the stitching's done. I've had a right fight with this one. So I don't know if you can see, I've turned it all through, and what you need to do now, if you can see the top stitching here, where the clips are, there's no stitching. That's where we left that gap. Okay, so we need to join up this row and this row of top stitching right across there, and that makes your open wide bag. I think that all makes sense. Excuse me while I just move that out of the way again. Yeah, they are sometimes they go like an absolute dream, and sometimes they are a blooming nightmare. So I'm just going to concentrate on getting this stitching lined up, because it just looks so much nicer if you do. The lining is all organised, if you like, and got a stray thread there. Where have you come from? I was going to say, it's nearly done basically. So with the zip bit, I just sort of kind of have it coming up and away out of this gap. I don't know if you can even see that. I'll show you when we've stitched it. So just take your time on this bit. Take your time, Susan, slow it down. So just need to join up those two bits of top stitching. So that's all it is, just a little, well, you're only stitching what, 2 inches, so but it's a finishing touch that makes all the difference. Did I not cut you? Just take off the threads. Because we back stitch, you don't have to worry about pulling them through. You can barely see these, they're so colour matched. So if you can see there now, the top stitching goes right across, and that gives us a really nice wide open bag. Okay, even when it's right, so that's what it looks like on the end. I'm going to trim these down, don't worry, it's not going to stay this big because they're enormous. So let me just open that again. Just need to do the same with the other end. Honestly, you feel like you're wrestling most of the time when you're stitching. Again, just line up that stitch which is there. Remove the clip, line up your insides and outsides, and stitch. Okay, so there's the pouch done. So I'm just gonna, I really don't want these that long, so I'm just gonna snip that there. Keep the ends if you want them. You can you can do zip crafts with them, but I tend to throw them away, I'm afraid. I know it's terribly wasteful. Before I cut these metal bits off, I'm just going to stitch that zip together there. if nothing else, this makes you understand why, you know, these pouches, the ordinary way, they're really quick and easy to do, you know, where you just keep all the zips inside, you know, where they just sort of end up looking like that sort of thing. But I always find those a bit not my favourite. Anyway, the reason I kept the cutouts when I did the box bottoms is because I'm now going to use those as my zipper tabs once I've cut that off, because that's the whole reason you stitched that, Susan. And yes, so you're going to have all the raw edges showing, which is kind of intentional. Sort of show you a mass finish at the end, basically, because it's either going to be an open wide pouch like this or one with a lace zip. So yeah, you've seen both types now. So anyway, yeah, all right, I'll come back with a finished, hopefully all of them finished. It's going to take a couple of hours, so see you then. Right, just a really quick update for you on how the pouches are going. These squares, I've added them, but I've turned them into little pockets as well, so I thought that'd be quite cute. So there's that one with the bee, there's that one with dragonfly, another one with a bee, this one with just the wording. Sorry, the lighting's terrible today, we've got the storm hitting us in Devon, so and there's that one with wording. Maybe if I turn the big light on, it might help. Oh, look at that daylight. I'm just on lunch break at work, so I need to go back in a bit. And that one there. I've still got that one and that one to do, so nearly done. But yeah, I just thought I'd give you a quick update so that I can get the video released, so I can get the journals on Ko-fi, and yeah, you're all up to date. They're really nice, they're a nice size. You know, if you consider that's the average size of a pen, they're massive, so you'll get loads in them. So yeah, and they've all got the box bottoms, and the tabs, the ends are sort of finished. Whoops, finished with the cut-offs basically. So yeah, there we are. So quick update. As I say, when they've got these little ones, I did turn them into pockets. I thought there was another one. Or is that the one I'm doing? It might be the one I'm doing. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, that one there. It's got a pocket as well on the front. So yeah, they're coming along nicely. But yeah, it's my long work week this week, so I shall get back and do some more stuff. I'd rather be doing this, but you know, bills got to be paid. All right, yeah, the journals will go on Ko-fi. I haven't photographed these yet, so they won't be on there yet, but just let me know if there's anything you're interested in. I'm happy to combine shipping wherever, really. So yeah, that's it. I'll see you soon. Bye.